Welcome back to my next playthrough series. Yes, this time it is Slay the Spire. This is all the basic cards. There are upgrades after you play with certain characters, but I have not opened any of the upgraded cards. So this will be a first time play. We're going to be using the Ironclad, who has his special abilities. We'll zoom down here and take a look at that. We have the Spire track as well here. And they have a bunch of tokens you put on randomly. This is double-sided for Act 1. So there's Act 1, Act 2, and Act 3 in this game. If you can get all the way to the end of Act 3 and defeat the boss monster at the top, you'll win Slay the Spire. And so they have tokens. You randomly put these out. So there's dark gray spots. So I've randomly done that already. And there are light colored spots. So you basically take all of these tokens, randomize them, and put them out. So it randomizes your track somewhat. There's also 3 boss monsters to fight at the end. And each one, like one has 1 to 2, 2 to 3, or 1 to 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I've randomly rolled ahead already. Just did some prep work here. So we have an Act 1 slime boss at the end. I forget his exact name. He's the slime boss. So that's who we will be fighting if we make it to the top of the spire for Act 1. I'm going to be playing right through as far as we go until we're defeated. If you lose all of your health and go to 0, well, you're done. And I will explain how the game plays as we play. Now, as a solo, this is also a co-op game. You can do multiplayer up to 4 characters, which is incredible, because the computer game you can only play solo, I believe, unless there's a multiplayer version of it that I don't know about, which is quite possible. But we're going to be playing with the Ironclad. He's one of the 2 easier modes to play. You have a basic deck. If you're playing a solo character, you start with a loaded die relic, and we will be rolling a die during combat. I'll explain all this as we play, of course. And this, you just trigger these effects. Now, if you roll a 6, it says trigger a die relic ability. You can trigger this loaded die relic ability, which is gain a shield. So if you roll a 4, 5, or 6 when you're playing solo with the loaded die, you will automatically gain 1 shield when you get into combat. And shields are good for blocking damage from the enemies, as you'll see. And each character that comes in the game has a nice little miniature. And as you can see on the board, you can play up to 4 players simultaneously, multiplayer. Let's take a look at our starting deck. So basically it's a deck builder. I don't know if I mentioned that as well. You have basic attack cards. They have a gray border. Our upgraded cards, there's a giant stack there, have a black border. And these cards themselves can be upgraded. And how you upgrade a card is you pull it out of the sleeve, flip it over, they're dual-sided, and you'll have an upgraded version of your card, basic and or advanced cards. So we basically, our only special card in our deck is you have to pay 2 power to play it. It's a 2 attack, and we will give a weaken. It's not, or what is this called? I forget. Is it weaken? No. It lets you do more damage to the character when you hit them. There is a weaken symbol, so there's shields. There's a bit of iconography. It's not too difficult to figure out. So we have basic strikes and basic defense. Kind of your basic deck builder. This is our only special card. The other characters that you can play have 2 special cards. We only have 1, so of course we'll just shuffle up our deck and we'll be pulling 5 cards for our hand. Let's zoom down a little bit on our Ironclad character. We also start with 2 gold, because there are some shops as you follow the path up, and the path is branching, so you can decide which path to take. So we start with 2 gold as a solo player. Let's take a quick look at the Ironclad. And of course I'm going over this stuff very quickly, so it will make sense as we play. It's actually a very streamlined version of the computer game, which is actually pretty cool, because this is a tactile version of that. The computer game is very good. If you get it and you're addicted to it like I am, you will. I've got, I don't know, 300 or 400 hours on it. But yes, there are differences between the board game here and the computer game. Some things do operate differently. I won't be getting into those as we play. I'll just be sticking to the rules here. So his special ability basically is at end of combat. So when combat's finished, we get to heal 1 hit point. And of course, like I said, if you get to 0 hit points, well, you've lost your run of Slay the Spire, and you are out of the game and finished. So there we go. Now we have energy. Now energy is used to play cards. So this here, you can see this card to play it costs 1 energy. And at the beginning of combat, there's a little dial here. You start with 3 energy at the beginning of combat. So for each turn of combat, you get 3 energy. So basically, you can play 3 cards if they all cost 1. Of course, this one, Bash, costs 2. There you go. So that's how that operates. And yeah, so that's basically it. There are 3 other characters you can play. I'll flash them up briefly. I won't describe really anything they do. So in order of complexity of characters, the next one, I believe, is called the Silent, is this guy. He's got a special ability, draw 2 cards at the start of combat. He only has 9 health. Ironclad has the most health and he heals. Alright, so we have this guy, the Silent. We also have the Derelict, who can cast orbs, doing some funky things there. They give you special abilities right on the board. These are dual layer boards too, very nice. And the last one is the Wraith, I believe. Again, a little more complicated. It's got a neutral, a calm, and a wrath ability, wrath ability, but she's called the Wraith, I think. And then start of combat is she gets prayer tokens, which she's able to use to gain power to do things. Alright, let's take a quick look at a combat round with icons. I'm not going to dwell on it too much. We have relics we can get as rewards for defeating enemies, potions as rewards for defeating enemies, and boss relics if you defeat bosses. And bosses are these tokens here, the little sort of big horns, and regular enemies are just this kind of face. And yes, for Act 1, there are 4 basic encounter cards. We'll be encountering one of them to start with. Alright, let's take a look at the helpful board that comes with the game. The game, of course, comes with a nice wooden die that you roll at the beginning of combat. Certain enemies have die abilities for combat, and of course, as we've already seen, relics, as we collect relics, they have die abilities as well, which is all tied to the 1 die roll you do at the start of a combat. Not at the start of a combat round, but at the start of the entire combat. Alright, so here's the combat round. So basically, our player turn. So when we start combat, we were set to 3 energy, 0 shields. We draw 5 cards, we roll this die, and boom, there you go. Then you play cards, discuss as if you're playing co-op with more than 1 character. So you play your cards, end of turn, and turn effects, discard your card. That's their player turn. And the enemy turn is they remove all of their block, and then they do their enemy actions and move cube actions. Some enemies, we put a little cube on them, and they have like a track, and it shows you what they do. Again, will all make sense as we play. And up top here, you can't quite see it, is we have a relic deck, potion deck, a boss relic deck, or elites, they're called. The bosses are the final ones you fight. The elites are the ones with horns on their head, and the regular monsters are just this symbol here. Alright, and then there's these kind of decks as well. So for Act 1, and these are the summoned monsters. These are the gremlin summons. And you don't shuffle this deck. There's a whole pile of things that can be summoned. So some of the enemies come out with helpers on your turn. Okay, I think we are ready to kind of get set up. And then I think when we come back tomorrow, we'll get right into the gameplay. I'll go right into it. I'll show you how it all works. There is something called Neo's Blessing. You get 1 of these at the start of the entire game, and that's it. So let's figure that out and get our Ironclad solo character set up for this run. Alright, and yes, we have this little boot symbol here. This is where we start, and then you can see the branches. So and the very first thing you must encounter is an initial monster. So that's where we will be beginning. Okay, this is the basic. I said I haven't unlocked any cards. There's a whole pile of cards to unlock in this game once you play. So once we play with the Ironclad and lose or win, we will unlock the first set of unlocked cards, and there's a huge pile of them. And yes, the game itself comes with the card sleeves, which is really nice. I was a little surprised. I didn't know that was part of it, but there you go. So these are the Neo's Blessings. We're going to grab 1, and we're going to see what it says. All right, so we'll just grab this one, and we're going to follow along, and that will be our setup. So what do we get from Neo's Blessing? And if you play the computer game, you know it's this giant 3-eyed whale, or whatever. So greetings. So basically, we gain 3 dollars or 3 coins. And we get to upgrade a basic, or not upgrade, we get to choose a card, and then we get to choose one of the options below. So let's start off with this one. So we're just going to gain 3 gold. So that's going to give us a total of 5 because we started with 2. So now we have 5 gold. And we get to choose 1 upgrade card. And so we have this huge, and I should say each of the 4 characters have their own basic deck, their own upgrade deck, and their own special advanced upgrade deck. So that's really cool. So we're going to be looking at 3 of these, and we get to choose one to add to our starting hand, which is going to be awesome. So you've seen our basic hand already. Oof, the shuffle. Oh, these are nasty. Alright, so we're just going to randomly grab 3. So we'll grab that one, and that one, and that one. So 3 random cards for our upgrade, and we get to choose 1 to keep. Alright, so let's see what we have. We have Headbutt. This is in it. What do they call these? Advanced? Or not advanced, but I'm sorry about the terminology. So the basics are basically gray, and then this is a little bit more powerful. So this one costs 1 energy to play. It gives us 2 attack. Put a card from your discard pile on top of your draw pile. That's actually really nice. True Grit. It's a skill. It's their skills, powers, attacks, and defends. This is a skill costing 1 energy. You get 1 defense to any player. So if you're playing co-op, of course you can do this for yourself. Exhaust a card in your hand. And this one is Clothesline, costing 2 power to play, 3 attack, and you weaken the enemy for what's weaken means they get -1 damage on their first attack, and then the weaken will go away. Whoa, these are all good. And this guy's all about the damage, doling out the damage mostly, but then he takes a lot of hits because he doesn't have a ton of defense. This one does give us defense, though. We can exhaust a card in our hand. You know what? I like the Headbutt. You get 2 damage to an enemy, put a card from your discard pile on top of your draw. I think we're going to go for that. So that's the card we will add and shuffle in. These 2 will then go to the bottom of our upgrade card deck, which is actually very large. There are duplicates in there, so that we will see some of those, I'm sure. Okay, and then carrying on, we get to choose one of the options below. We can upgrade a card, or we can just gain 3 potions, or we can gain out a super advanced upgrade card, but then we have to gain a curse. Don't really want a curse, to be honest. Curses are really bad things to have in your deck. They either give you damage, they give you they just mess you over. So I don't think we're going to bother with. Potions are very useful, and you can have a total of 3. You can have 3 total potions. Any more than that, you have to discard, or you just can't gather them. Or you can discard one of the potions you own to get another one. Or we can just upgrade a card. You know, I think we might upgrade a card. I have a feeling we're going to upgrade a card. That's very easy to do. I'll show you how to do that. Now, I'm going to go through this. I'm going to figure out which card I actually want to upgrade. Of course, we have our basic attacks, we have our basic defense, we have our bash we could upgrade. And we could also upgrade Headbutt. Let me take a look at these. The book itself, there is an actual, comes with the game, is this tells you all the upgrades, because to upgrade a card, you have to pull it out of the sleeve, flip it over, put it back in. This book basically goes through, so here's the Silent. Here's the Ironclad. It has actually every card that can be upgraded for the Ironclad. So you can look in this book and go, oh, there it is. What do you do if you upgrade it? So for instance, if we upgrade an attack, it still costs 1, but now it does 2 damage instead of 1. So this shows you the upgraded side of all the cards. Alright, let me make a decision of which card I want to upgrade, and then we'll come right back. So yeah, I think we're going to upgrade Headbutt, because this is actually, it's already a pretty powerful card. We upgrade it, so you can see now it's costs 1 power to play, does 2 damage, put a card from your discard pile on top of your draw deck. We're going to upgrade it, and you're going to see what the upgrade is, which is pretty awesome. So it just has the upgrade. The upgrade is in green. You'll see with a little plus symbol on it, meaning it's an upgraded card. Yes, I have been using the sleeves. They're a little bit shiny, so we're going to get some little camera glare here. It shouldn't be too terrible. So basically now it does 3 damage, and put a card from the discard pile on top of your draw. So for 1 power, we can dole out 3 damage. That's pretty powerful stuff. And then, of course, it just is going to go into our hand, and we're going to shuffle this, and we'll be drawing 5 cards for our first combat, which will be coming up tomorrow. And I will be shuffling these up probably again anyway. Alright, I think I'm going to zoom out today. That should give you a pretty good idea of what's happening. And when we get into the gameplay and do things, you'll obviously see a lot more. So I'm going to zoom out and wrap it up for today. Alright, well that's going to wrap up our episode of Slay the Spire for today. So basically an intro, and yes, we will get into the gameplay starting tomorrow. The first thing we do is we're going to be drawing one of the 4. There are 4 initial encounters for Act 1, and then there's all the other ones shuffled up. So you never quite know what's coming up as I throw them all over the floor. Because why wouldn't I? That's the best way to start off the ending off of the series. So there's basically 4 initial encounters. Again, we'll shuffle these tomorrow. We'll pull one. That will be our first fight. And I'll show you how it works, which is actually a very, very streamlined, good version of the computer game. So thanks so much for watching along. Thanks for your comments, subscriptions, and likes. This is Slay the Spire. We are going to run the Ironclad as far as he can go. So if we can defeat the boss in Act 1, if we even get to the boss in Act 1, we may not even get there, right? We'll see. And I should mention, so campgrounds, you could heal 3 health or upgrade 1 card. Elites, you fight a stronger version of regular monsters, basically. Question marks, or you have an event. Don't know what it is. It could be good, it could be bad, it could be neutral. And again, you can weave your way up, and then these are just regular monsters you fight. And you get rewards, basically, in all of the different areas. This little treasure chest gives you a relic, a basic relic, which are little treasure chest things. And it gives you more cards to play. There's no limit to the number of relics you can have. You can have like 50 of them if you can collect that many on a run. And yeah, and then no amount in gold, you can have as much as possible as well. So thanks so much, and we'll see you tomorrow for the start of our ascension of the Spire. We'll see what we can do with the Ironclad. If he can make it all the way, take out our first boss. Maybe we can take out the second boss, the third boss. Not too likely. So thanks so much, and I hope to see you then.